So again, we're a week into our transit by reservation, and I'd like to really thank the public for their patience. It's taken a lot to put this together. In the first week, we have seen an increase in our ridership. So when we first started this transit by reservation on Wednesday, we've already seen our ridership go up, which is probably not a good thing. So we are seeing people using the service over and over throughout the day, and not necessarily for essential travel purposes. So we are urging our customers to use the service for essential travel only. Just a couple of reminders. The booking line is 403-359-6558, or you can go to lethbridge.ca. Again, it's not door-to-door service, but we are asking patrons to wait at the bus stop for 20 minutes. And if you see a bus, it might not be your bus. So we urge customers to stay at your bus stop for 20 minutes, and the bus will be there. The booking line, we are urging our bookers, we want them to understand that booking is cut off at 4:30 for a ride the next day. So if you call at 4:45 and want a ride the next day, you're not going to get a ride. The booking line is open from 8 to 4:30, and you can call in or email in after hours, but that ride would only be accepted for the day after. Any changes to ride reservations, we require those as well from 8 to 4:30, just because it takes a long time to process these reservations. Clients are now being registered, and they have a client ID number. This is going to help us with the booking process, because we take a lot of calls and we are answering a lot of emails. So there's a lot of administrative work that goes into this. So please remember and call in when you do have your client ID for any booking, changing, or canceling of reservations. Just to reaffirm, we're urging the community to only use transit for essential purposes only, and to limit the number of trips for essential travel only.
So we've had lots of requests over the last week or so for birthday drive-bys, anniversaries, and celebrations like this during the pandemic, when we're asking everybody to socially isolate. So being that we're an integrated service, it's a little bit more difficult for us, being that all of our people could be expected to go to calls as paramedics. So to keep our social distancing from the public, and to not have any, and really to be able to keep up with demand, we decided to work with City Communications and put a video out instead that we can personalize a little bit for especially the kids that are stuck at home right now, to make that a little bit more personal. One of our captains, Paul Wazowicz, he does a pretty good Gru impersonation. So we've got him and some of his co-workers that made a video, and it's quite entertaining. Hopefully the kids get a kick out of it. I'm sure the parents will, if nothing else. And yeah, I really appreciate them stepping up and doing that. So.
Well, hello there. A little birdie and a couple minions told me it's your birthday. I love the birthdays.
So we've received a number of inquiries from the public and from other agencies in regards to enforcement of public health orders, and when a ticket would be issued and when a ticket would not be issued. And like everything we do in policing, it's based on a case-by-case basis. Certainly our officers are provided the latitude of discretion at all times when they're dealing with a situation, and they will continue to assess every call they go to on a case-by-case basis and decide the best course of action given that particular incident that they're dealing with. To date, we still have not issued any violation tickets, and I'm happy to report that in relation to the public health orders. We have issued a number of warnings, one to a local business at the request referral of AHS, and others in relation to calls, which not necessarily are in relation to non-compliance of public health orders, but when our officers go to a certain type of a complaint, they notice that there's people there that aren't really complying with the public health orders, so they will issue warnings in those circumstances. Ultimately, we want people to comply with the health orders, and we truly believe education plays a huge part in that. So we've certainly instructed our members that if they attend a call for service, if there is a breach of a public health order, and if the situation warrants it, educate the people involved. If the individuals are cooperative, if they change their behavior, then we're more than happy and willing to issue a warning in those circumstances. Obviously, if we don't get compliance, the fine option is still available, and the officers are aware of that as well. At the end of the day, we don't want to have to issue a $1,200 ticket to any of our citizens if we can avoid to do that. If they will agree to listen to us, stop what they're doing, we would like to be able to issue them simply a warning and provide them with some education around why it's so important that they listen to what the chief medical officer is asking us to do. And for the most part, I have to say our community and our city has been very, very good at listening to these orders. We've received very few complaints, and we hope that continues, but we also know that with the weather improving and the length of time this goes on, we're going to start to see more people deciding they just want to get out and a break in the monotony. So we're asking our citizens again, please listen to these orders. We don't want to have to come to these residences and deal with these. We want to continue to do what other policing activities that, more serious criminal offenses, dealing with those people that are truly in the need and need police assistance for other matters.